Uh, okay, we are page Vav, and this is 6 lines from the top of the page. The line starts with the word Voshativas Kmoy Kain. The Rebbe explains a very phenomenal principle. That the ability to explain a sechel to someone who does not have the sechel on his own, who needs to be introduced and to explain the sechel, a talmud. That ability represents a higher koyach than even that which enabled the Rav to conceptualize and to reveal the sechel unto himself. We discussed this. We tried to explain the principle behind it. And towards the end of this discussion, where we are up to, the Rebbe says that just as the oisiyos per se are not rooted in the sechel, but rooted above the sechel, and a higher level, it's called Moker HaSeichel. And this is referred to as Mibchinas yechida benefesh. Yechida benefesh. And this is where tziruf, the principle of putting together words and letters to express a seichel is rooted in yechida benefesh. To put this in a very precise and pointed sentence, in order to present a sechel in oisiyos, one has to be able to perceive the sechel, which is really a nefesh and a shoma element, to perceive how the sechel is recognizable on the external world level. And this is why he says it comes from yechida benefesh. Yechida is that point in the nefesh that recognizes only one principle, one reality. And therefore everything that it has is correlated to this one reality. And this is why he's able to take the sechel and put it in the oisiyos. It's not a strange place. Okay, so we'll say start from this line, from the beginning of this line, even though it's in the middle. Just as the oases themselves are rooted in the moker of sechel. Likewise, the structured ACS, they're also drawn and created from the moker of the sechel. And the very root of that is from the aspect of yechida benefesh. I explained that yechida benefesh only sees yechida, says one truth wherever it is exposed to. Shemisham shoyresh oasis, where the root of the oasis comes from. Umisham koyach hatziruf l'tzarif. From there too comes the koyach hatziruf, the ability of tziruf, of joining l'tzarif ul-chaber oasis, to join oasis, to create words. just to give us a sense and understand of those principles, that yechida benefesh does not feel strange any place. It sees the same truth wherever it is exposed to, because it knows only one truth. So even though it has to structure it in words and aces and so forth, it is one and the same truth. Yes, sir.
When we speak about creating oisius, are we considering creating words equivalent to creating sentences?
Yeah.
Because creating sentences is much more complicated and much more sophisticated than creating a word with a few letters. It requires a higher level of sechel. That's what I'm saying.
Noach, it says that Noach, he was the first one to provide tools for plowing, for tilling the earth. And one of the things that he provided was the wheel.
Okay.
Big deal. You know what kind of sophisticated machinery we have now? Compare that to the wheel. What do you think?
I don't know. It's machinery of today is much more
sophisticated, much more complicated.
But it uses the wheel.
Okay, but I'm asking you, who was a greater inventor? Noach invented the wheel?
Or the guy who invented the car?
Or the one who invented the car?
The guy who invented the car is not mentioned in the Torah.
I'm asking you a question. Your question, this is actually your question. Oisios, which are sentences.
What is your answer?
My answer is that the wheel is a much more profound revelation and is rooted much deeper in the nefesh than a car. The initial revelation of it is phenomenal. Particularly when we just finished explaining what is the idea of this invention of the oisius and words and letters. Please listen. It is to be able to associate and to see on an external physical level that which one perceives in his nefesh. As a matter of fact, this is what confused the whole world. Said, no, there isn't. Everything is just structured on a physical level. So I want to explain. This is what I'm going to explain. We have tables and chairs, and whatever other amenities that we use in the home, and all the time. And we pointed out a phenomenal principle, reality, that even though a table is an external entity, and it's built of material completely separate from the person's sechel, and it can be built from wood, okay, that's something which is natural, but from steel, all kinds of different ways. And yet, when one sits at the table, he does not feel that he's in a strange world. I would think that he should feel that he's like going to China. You hear Chinese talk, you think, oh, this is words, this is a language. Because the structure of our language is totally different than that of Chinese. The structure of the amenities that we are using in a home is totally different than that which we live with internally. And yet, it is rooted therein, and after a while we feel perfectly comfortable, and it makes perfect good sense. To the extent that we feel uncomfortable if you're liking it. And the reason, the explanation for that is because it's really all rooted in the nefesh, starting from the oisios and then the tzurufei. And the principle in nefesh is this is yechida shebenefesh. What's yechida? Yechida shebenefesh. Yechida, wherever it turns, it sees only one reality. It relates only to one reality. This is why you wake up in the morning. I slept through. I'm rested. The first we say, I'm more than lifonecha. Shechazarta binishmos. You returned me to the neshama. I woke up and I got the neshama myself. I grabbed onto it myself because I'm rested. That is a false perception. The neshama teaches us to say moedan lefonecha shechazarta binishmos. There's only one reality. And then when we start saying brachas, Pakiach Ivrim, who opens the blind, Matir Asurim, who releases those who are tied up, who could not move. This is all referring to ourselves. I woke up, I'm rested, I get up and no. Matir Asurim, Pakiach Ivrim, Zekif Kfufim, Malbish Arumim. All that is representative of the Mebish's presence in our life. We ought to understand this. This is where oases are coming from. And if we did not understand that, in our external practical thought process, we don't realize it, but deep down in nefesh we do realize it. This is why we're able to formulate letters and words and sentences.
We realize that which we perceive in our external world is the Mebish's presence.
That's right. Not Mebish's presence. The Mebish's doing. There is nothing in the world on its own. All right, now we are 4 lines from the end of that top section, at the end, towards the middle of that line. Hare, and Thus, we have pointed out the betzir of ha'oisis b'teva achas, that in joining letters into one single word, hine, so then, levad ha'ois sechel ha'muvish b'hateva, in addition to this sechel that is contained in this word, which is a sechel, and it's an ois sechel, which means, as we assessed many times, it is something that the nefesh itself relates to. It's a reality. Yesh bazeh oid. There is therein more. Another oir elyoin, a superior oir, shalamayla harbe mehasechel hamuso, which is much higher than the comprehended sechel. The phenomenon of us being able to formulate a word is much higher than the sechel that is expressed in the word. Yesh leimar. Yesh leimar. It is conceivable. It is not out of line to say, the keach elyon hu koyach nela. Now this superior koyach is a koyach nela, which means a hidden koyach, a concealed koyach. The hu, it's not a koyach that expresses itself. It's an essential koyach that stays concealed within itself. The hu ha'atzmi shel ho'e pnimi. It is in fact the atzmi, the essence of the epnimi, What is oipnimi? Oipnimi means an oil that can be expressed in kelim, that can be demonstrated. And this is the atzmi of the oipnimi. Meaning that this oipnimi can be expressed in words is a manifestation of the etzem of that oipnimi. As the oipnimi is within its own source. To me, it seems that the best way to recognize this is, again, the same thing that just not finished saying. One is using a table or a spoon or a cup. And he understands it naturally, much more profoundly than the ability to explain why it is.
That's because the atmi of the orpinimi is at work.
Because it's not what this is the revelation of the atmi orpinimi. In other words, if you say eat with a spoon so that your clothes will stay clean, it's not touching the reality as we perceive it.
It's not touching reality. It's saying we perceive a reality deeper than.
Then what is expressed in the external sechel.
And this is the or elyon.
This is the or elyon that enables it to be expressed.
Is this saying something further about yechida shel nefesh?
Well, I leave it okay.
And this or elyon is attached to or behind every human, the spoons, the table, all these things, right?
Ultimately, yes.
What was that, Shlomo?
The way that this higher or is the cause for and seen in all these human implements, things.
It's very, very simple, as we put it before. Being in an environment of a fully furnished room. Not only furnished the furniture that I use, but furniture that I don't even use. It's there because other people use it. Bookcases, or wall paintings, or hat hooks, whatever it is. He does not feel that he is in a strange environment. Even though he never used a hat hook.
The fact that it's not strange, it seems something more is being said, namely that it's not only not strange, but it's rooted in some essential level, yeah?
Yeah, that's what we said many, many times.
Right.
Odom shin a bias any odom. A bias is any odom. That's the essence, that comes from the essence of the person. The furnishings in the house is all derivative, but they grow out of that house, and all representative of the same thing. On different levels.
These morning brachas, they are an acknowledgement of, so to speak, the morning brachas that were mentioned before.
Yeah.
This is like an acknowledgement of, so to speak, the orpanimi. The orpanimi?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So this oil that enables to be mitzaref oisiyos, this is what's called oil elyon, much higher than the sechel hamuz.
Right, the morning bracha is acknowledgement of the or elyon or the or panimi.
Or pnimi. So he says in the parentheses, koyach elyon hu koyach nelam. Koyach elyon is really a concealed koyach. And this is the atzmi of the oipnimi. As the oipnimi is in its source. The highest kloli, and then there is the highest kloli. Highest kloli means the general highest. Okay, or koyach elyon, this has an effect, an unidentifiable effect that enables the tziruf of oisius. But then there is a highest kloli. A highest kloli means an overall highest that embraces the entire being. Hu oir misgal. That oir is not nelam, it's not a concealed oir, it's misgal, it's a revealed oir. Hu bechinas oir makif. And that is an oir makif, it's called an embracing, a surrounding oir. Yesh leimar, in identifying these two, koyach elyon and oir mak and oir and chayes clearly, to identify them precisely by name. Yesh lemar, it is appropriate to say, shezehu bechinas yechida v'chaya. Now these are the two levels of makif, yechida and chaya. Chaya is that which gives life, which means that which is felt begil. It's mechaya, the one's world. Yechida is the source of one's world. Okay, this is as far as we are going to go with this.